Name: William Frederick, Buffalo Bill, Cody. Born the 26th of February 1846, LeClaire, Iowa Territory, USA. Father: Isaac Cody. Mother: Mary Ann Bonsall Laycock. Spouse: Louisa M. Fredericky. Early life: William Frederick, Buffalo Bill, Cody was born on February 26, 1846, on a farm near LeClaire, Iowa. His father, Isaac Cody, was born on September 5, 1811, in Toronto Township, Upper Canada, which is now part of Mississauga, Ontario, west of Toronto. Bill's mother, Mary Ann Bonsall Laycock, was born around 1817 near Philadelphia, New Jersey. She moved to Cincinnati to teach school, where she met and married Isaac. Mary Ann was a descendant of Hosea Bunting, a Quaker who settled in Pennsylvania. However, there is no evidence that Buffalo Bill was raised as a Quaker. In 1847, the couple baptized their son, William Cody, at Dixie Union Chapel in Peel County, now the Peel region, including Mississauga, not far from Isaac's family farm. The chapel was built with Cody family funds, and the land was donated by Philip Cody of Toronto Township. They lived in Ontario for several years. Isaac Cody moved his family from their farm near LeClaire, Iowa, to Kansas, where he operated a trading post near the Kickapoo Indian Agency along the Mississippi River. At that time, Kansas was embroiled in a violent struggle between those opposing and supporting slavery. See Bleeding Kansas. During an anti-slavery speech, Isaac was attacked, and he eventually died from his wounds 3 years later in 1857. To support his family, Cody started working at the age of 9 for the Russell, Majors, and Waddell Freight Company, where he used his skills as a rider. In 1857, after a great American was killed, Cody began to be celebrated as the youngest Indian fighter on the Great Plains, helping fend off an attack on a cattle drive he was working on. During the same cattle drive, Cody met a young Wild Bill Hickok, who intervened in a fight involving the young Cody and an older man. In 1868, Cody returned to work for the Army as the Chief of Scouts. His ongoing work with the Army earned him the Medal of Honor from Congress in 1872, which was later rescinded and then reinstated. Meanwhile, he became a national folk hero thanks to the exploits of his alter ego, Buffalo Bill, in dime novels. In late 1872, Cody moved to Chicago to make his stage debut in The Scouts of the Prairie, one of Ned Buntline's original Wild West shows. Buntline was also the author of the Buffalo Bill novels. The next year, Wild Bill Hickok joined the show, and the troupe toured for 10 years. General Philip Sheridan of the U.S. Army saw in Cody a charismatic figure combining the frontier spirit, making him a natural, public relations representative, for the Army's Western campaigns, which needed good publicity. Under the Army's protection, grand hunting expeditions with dignitaries like Russia's Grand Duke Alexis were conducted with Buffalo Bill, General Sheridan, and Brevet Major General George Armstrong Custer. These excursions were full-scale media events, glamorizing both the military and Cody. During this time, the pulp fiction industry produced cheap magazines that romanticized the exploits of heroes and villains, with Buffalo Bill becoming one of the central figures roaming the plains in these exaggerated tales. In 1872, dime novel writer Ned Buntline persuaded Cody to portray himself on stage. The show business bug bit Cody, and the next year, he formed his own combination troupe. This group included authentic Western figures like James Butler, Wild Bill Hickok and Texas Jack Omohundro, who lent some credibility to the melodramas. In 1883, Buffalo Bill formed Buffalo Bill's Wild West, a circus-like show featuring daring acts of skill, horse races, stage battle reenactments, and many other attractions. His show toured the US and was especially popular in the East, where curiosity about the American West persisted. The performers in Buffalo Bill's show included Annie Oakley, Calamity Jane, and Sioux Chief Sitting Bull. The Wild West show was hugely popular in the 1880 and 1890. The show toured Europe several times, during which Buffalo Bill performed before King Edward VII of England, Queen Victoria, Kaiser Wilhelm II, and many others. By the time his shows ended in 1906, Buffalo Bill had become an international celebrity and one of the most famous men in America. In 1898, as American heroes emerged from the Spanish-American War, Cody's shadow loomed large. Despite his business obligations and advanced age, Cody promised his fans he would fight in the conflict with Spain. Cody sent his 2 horses with General Miles, who rode them during the campaign to take Puerto Rico. This was Cody's only direct contribution to the war effort. Theodore Roosevelt's Rough Riders Regiment successfully fought in Cuba, and a new leader of American Rough Riders emerged. Despite the popularity of the Rough Rider moniker, Roosevelt never acknowledged Cody's original use of it. Roosevelt refused to participate in a Wild West show reenactment of the Battle of San Juan Hill, even though many of his former Rough Riders performed in the reenactment. Buffalo Bill Cody never retired. He passed away on January 10, 1917, at his sister's home in Denver. At his request, he was buried on Lookout Mountain, west of Denver, Colorado, overlooking the Great Plains. 4 years later, his wife Louisa was buried next to him. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us create more great content. Thanks for watching.